Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you enjoy this watch, see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the best-loved travel time watch from Patek Philippe. Launched in 2011, the Aquanaut Travel Time was not the first Patek Philippe traveler's timepiece, but it is the one that made the travel time complication cool, and perhaps more versatile and usable given the water resistance and luminescence. The combination of the Aquanaut with the travel time complication is a match made in horological heaven. 40.8 millimeters, but let's call this a 41 to 42 because that's how it wears. What it doesn't do is stack on the wrist, as it's only 10.4 millimeters thick. With a rounded case flank, this will easily slide underneath any dress cuff, jacket, or shirt. 47.3 millimeters lug to lug, but it does wear a little bit broader than that because unlike the Nautilus, which features a mono case and a minimal amount of flare due to bracelet construction and rigidity, the strap on the Aquanaut is very thick and it will fight the curve of your wrist past a point. The timepiece has a broad spacing of 21 millimeters between the lugs if you wish to accessorize, and I would advise you to keep the factory composite strap because it's a perfect match for the dial and complements the rose gold in handsome fashion. With the geosphere cut of the dial continuing through the rubber material, it's called composite, but let's be honest, it's some sort of polymer related to rubber. A durable piece, thick cut with hollows on the bottom to vent the wrist. It also gives you a number of cut points, and not just on one side, both sides. You should be able to fine-tune just about perfectly with this many cut options while maintaining the integrity and appearance of the strap. The clasp is probably better than the clasp fitted to Patek Philippe bracelets, as it's substantial and, thanks to the twin triggers, quite secure when closed. No cheap clamshell here, plenty of material invested and fully finished in high polished red gold to match the case. The watch is stronger about its case lines and lugs than a Nautilus. The Nautilus has the image of a monoblock, which is handsome and coherent, but doesn't quite have the wrist stance of the Aquanaut. People ask me, what's the difference between a Nautilus and an Aquanaut? And usually you start with price, continue to the complexity of the case, far more so in the instance of the Nautilus, but where I like to start and finish is lugs. The Aquanaut has them, the Nautilus does not, and they are strong lugs with facets of polish and satin and a handsome transitional bevel down the flanks that flares at the end of the lug. The watch also has wings, much like the Nautilus, and here is where the genius of the travel time system is perfectly suited to the shape of the Aquanaut travel time. The wings of the case have been supplanted by pushers for the travel time. They balance out the crown guard. On the 9 o'clock side, you have the ability to jump the local hour hand, and you can jump it forward or backwards, even superimposing it over the reference time when you don't need that second time zone. Let me thread out the crown and demonstrate that not only does this watch give you an AM/PM indicator for your reference time, that is the time where you are not, but it also gives you an AM/PM indicator for your local time so you can see day and night clearly demarcated. It is a very smart system. Perhaps the only compromise is that the date is now set with a pusher on the case flank. You can absolutely drive it forward or backwards, as you can see, using the GMT pusher, but if you want to move it in isolation, you can set the date using the pusher. Geosphere cut, the lines representing the meridians and parallels of latitude and longitude, and they're recapitulated in miniature on the date display. There's a brown bronze tinge to this dial. Luminescence and color as well as a gradient. You can see it starts as a brown bronze or brown gold at the center, and it becomes almost black at the periphery. All applique rose gold Arabic numerals, easy to see at night, and a handsome combination of that brown bronze with white calibrations for easy viewing. High legibility day or night. On the case back, this is Patek Philippe's manufacturer caliber 324. It's a thin automatic winding, high grade, 6-position adjusted 35 to 45 hour power reserve timepiece. It is very nicely decorated. 35 to 45 hours of power reserve, 6-position adjustment, one more than a chronometer, silicone anti-magnetic hairspring, Gyromax free-sprung balance to take a very precise regulation and then hold it in the face of bumps and disruptions on the wrist. At center, unidirectional winding, more efficient than bidirectional, with ceramic rotor bearings to compound the advantages and also reduce the maintenance requirements. It features a remarkable array of finishes, as you'll see circular Cote de Genève on the winding mass, engraving of the Calatrava cross. There's a micro spiral perlage at at the center of the winding mass, and also larger perlage engine turning across the base plate. Note the engine turning on the reduction wheel, the click wheel and reduction wheel for the winding system. Linear Côte de Genève laid down with an abrasive wheel, not stamped across the bridges, and all screw heads black polished. You can also see the mirrored chamfering or beveling known as anglage, executed not just on the edges of the bridges, but also the jewel and the screw countersinks. Each screw head black polished with its slot chamfered, and if you were to thread it out, you would see the bottom of its stalk. The tip, the pilot, is also mirror finished. You do get a few tricks when you pay 5 figures for a Patek Philippe watch. 120 meters water resistant and robustly loomed. This is the all-the-time, all-around watch from Patek, the signature complication in the Aquanaut family, and the best travel watch Patek Philippe makes. See it and make it yours on the watch box. Patek Philippe Aquanaut Travel Time by night. -3 + 2 seconds per day per Patek Philippe, and visible for every hour of the 24.